I could say, did you want a cup of tea? Did you want a cup of tea now? Did you want a cup of tea? You go into the shop and you say, what were you looking for? No, I'm still looking. But they say it's to be polite. Not very common, but it's distance, yeah? Not in time, but in social distance. Social distance. So, if you are close socially, use the present tense. If you're more distant, use the past tense. What about if I were in the mood? If I were in the mood, we could go out. We've already said past tense. What's the meaning there? Present reference. So what's distant about it? It's impossible. Sorry. I'm not in the mood. If I were in the mood, I'm not the president. If I was the president, I'm not very rich. If I was very rich, distant. Hypothetical distance. Three kinds of distance. Time, social, and reality, if you like. So we use tense to mark distance. Mostly time, it's true, most of the time. But if we look at these sentences I gave you, we can say all these ones are non-remote. Non-remote means close, near, obviously. And remote in terms of time, yesterday, social distance, and reality. And this one, again, in terms of time, because what she said it yesterday, and so it's distant, even though she's still working. Okay, so that's tense. Tense and time don't match, but we can explain them by thinking in terms of distance. Now, let's look at the other one, aspect. 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 Aspect is the most difficult thing in English. It's two aspects. What are they?
Perfect and progressive.
Perfect and
progressive.
Progressive, sometimes called continuous. Two aspects. This is me! Can you believe it? This is me! I'm reading this note at home. Can you see way at the top, that little me? This is in
ages.
This is me in a school in Scandinavia. Now, these sentences, first of all, we have to forget the story. I'm sorry, I haven't got time to do the story. We're going to grammar. 4 sentences. What's the difference between them? I'll tell you one thing. They're all correct sentences. They're all grammatically correct. They're all grammatically correct. So what's the difference between them? When I lived in Egypt, I taught English. When I was living in Egypt, I taught English. When I lived in Egypt, I was teaching English. When I was living in Egypt, I was teaching English. Okay, now is the difference in time? Okay, so they're all past tense, and they all, of course, why? Tell me why wasn't the difference? Because they are. And past time is remote.
Come from this way.
People in the front row are always the most bright. Sorry. Remote. Yes, because it's in the past. It's very remote. Very remote. But they're all remote, but they're all different combinations of tense and aspect. Now, what's the difference in meaning? And I'm telling you, it's nothing to do with time. And I'll come back to those sentences in a minute. But before we do that, we need to think in terms of aspect. How can we think of aspect but not think about time? Well, let's think about another area of English grammar, completely different area of English grammar, for a minute, to see what's going on. English, like many languages, makes distinctions between certain qualities of things or events. So, let's go back, forget verbs for a minute, let's look at some nouns. What's the difference between these two sentences? Would you like a lemon with it, or would you like lemon with it? A lemon? A whole lemon. So maybe if you're eating fish, you say, would you like a lemon with it? But would you like lemon with it? What are you talking about? Maybe
Big slices.
yeah, good juice. So lemon with what? Lemon with tea, maybe. Yes. So that's the difference, yeah? We have a difference in the noun system in English. We can talk about things as whole, countable, entire, measurable, or we can talk about things as being stuck, liquid, uncountable. Yeah, so we say how many lemons, how much lemon. Yeah? So there's a big difference in the way we think of nouns. Here's another one. Be careful, there's a glass on the floor, and be careful,
There's glass.
same difference, yeah? A glass, single, bounded, entire, whole, countable.
Scattered pieces.
Sorry? A container, exactly. But glass, just stuff. Broken glass, stuff. Can't count it. Yeah? Okay. So that's the difference between a lemon and lemon. Okay. Hold that difference. Hold that difference. Now, look at these two sentences. Her mother watched her cross the street. Her mother watched her crossing the street. Cross the street?
Please.
Let's do that again. The whole action, from the beginning to the end. Yeah? Mother watched her crossing the street.
Right now. Right now.
Did she reach the other side?
Watching while she was
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But it doesn't seem to be important. We see it in progress. We see it in progress. The mother watched her cross the street like a lemon, whole, entire, bounded, unaccountable. Watch her crossing the street, it's like stuff. It's not beginning, no end, it's stuff. Can't count. You see the similarity here? You see the similarity? I heard a dog bark, I heard a dog barking. Bark?
Done and finished.
Woof.
One bar. And then
Everybody? Woof. Barking? All night, yeah. Well, we don't know if it's a stop or not, but it's somehow it doesn't have a beginning or an end. That's not important. I mean, what's in progress, yeah? Not stop. Okay. You see a similarity here between a lemon and okay, so those weren't verb phrases, those were just non-time words. What if he walks to work? Now we've already said that this is what tense. It's present because it's non-remote. Non-remote. It could be tomorrow, it could be yesterday. We've seen that. This guy, he walks to work yesterday and he gets hit by a bus. So we don't know when it's happening, but we know it's non-remote. Now, is it lemon, a lemon, or lemon? Is it the whole thing, or is it just a part of the thing in progress? It's the whole thing. Walking to work, what's the tense? Present tense. Why? It's not remote, yes. We don't know when it's happening. We don't know when it's happening. We don't have the context. It could be tomorrow, it could be yesterday. We've seen that. He doesn't wear his glasses when he's walking to work. So we don't know when it is, but we know it's present tense because it's the present auxiliary, yeah? Okay, but walking, we've seen like crossing, walking, it's somehow, it's kind of like stuff, it's in progress. Not now necessarily, but it's happening, it's unfolding, it doesn't have a beginning and an end. Okay, here's another two. I read, this is past tense, it looks like, I read, pronunciation, read. I read an interesting book last night, and I was reading an interesting book last night. Now, clearly, these are past tense, so we know why, because it's remote in time. But what's the difference? Read, the whole thing. What's reading? Maybe we don't know. But
Really interesting. Oh, sorry, wonderful.
We're opening up the reading activity. We're looking inside the reading activity. Like we open up the lemon. What do we find inside the lemon? Juice. Open up read and you find reading. Open up walk and you find walking. So we're opening it up for some reason or other. So what we're doing when we say he walks, we don't know when, we don't know when. But we just see it pluff. Yeah? Just saying, when he's walking, isn't it nice? It took me forever to do this, so I'm going to leave it on for a while. And then we can add some context. We can say this, we decide when it is. So every day he walks to work. Nowadays he walks to work. He used to have a car, he had to sell the car, and nowadays he walks to work. Nowadays he's walking to work. So the same period, but now we're opening up. We want to look at this walking in progress. We're imagining it moving, happening, unraveling. Now he walks to work. He used to have a car. Now he walks to work. Plum. We're not opening it up. We're just seeing it as a lemon, whole. Okay? Now he's walking to work. It's the way you see the action, whether you see it as entire or you see it as in progress. Why do we call the progressive tense the progressive tense, or the progressive aspect, the progressive aspect? Because we're talking about it in progress. This is what it is, progressive. In progress. In progress when? No. You don't know. Anytime. It's progress. Today, yesterday, tomorrow, whenever. Every day, it doesn't matter. Yeah? He always wears his glasses when he's playing tennis. When he's playing tennis, well, anytime. But when he's playing tennis, when tennis is in progress. When tennis is in progress, one day he's walking to work. One day he's walking to work and the lights go out.
Somebody must have pushed it back.
So,
Excuse
all
me.
these sentences,
You probably pushed
when I lived in Egypt, I taught English. When I was living in Egypt, I was teaching English. When I lived in Egypt, I was teaching you. When I was living in they're all the same facts. The facts are the same. I haven't changed the facts. I've changed the grammar. Why? Because I want you to see things slightly differently. I want to stress something exactly. When I lived in Egypt, I taught English. Blah, blah. 2 lemons. I think it's real. 2 lemons. Yeah? I just want you to think of those things in their entirety. Don't bother opening them up. But when I was living in Egypt, I was teaching. I want you to open up those events. I want you to imagine me living in Egypt. And I'm teaching English. Wrong. When I lived in Egypt, laugh, I want you to see, that's just a fact. I was teaching, I want you to imagine me teaching English, but just don't imagine me living in Egypt. That's a fact, yeah? And when I was living in Egypt, I taught English, don't think about opening up teaching English, it's boring, but think about when I was living in Egypt. Okay, you see? So it's like this. Tense is where we point the camera. Here or over there. That's the tense, yeah? Over there could be in reality, so this aspect is how we, do I want to see it clear, laugh like a lemon, or do I want to see it fuzzy? And we can see this happening in text. If we look at any text, any real English, not textbook English, any real English, we'll see people using tense and aspect to create special effects, just like a movie, just like a cinema director, yeah? Just like a camera. So for example, this is a story from the New York Times. You don't have to read it. But it's a story about a crime and a trial. And in the trial, this is how it was reported in the New York Times. Their car slammed into the front of the minivan that had turned towards them. And that was the first time that Joseph Guzman saw a man standing near the front bumper. You know, the bumper. And this is what he said. This is really interesting. This is what he said. Listen, and look at how he changes the focus constantly. He shot me. Okay, so what tense? Remote, and it's remote in time, yeah? And it's was shooting or shot? Shot, yeah? No aspect, so just like a lemon. Whole thing. He shot me. Oh. He told the boy, I'm looking in his eyes. What tense? Present. And its progressive aspect. Why? Because he wants you to imagine time passing, and I'm looking in his eyes, man, and he shot me back to the past. So you see how he's moving backwards and forwards. Everything's slowed down. That's exactly what he's trying to create, the sense of slowing down. I'm looking into his eyes. But I'm looking at him shooting me. Not shoot me, but shooting me. Like the dog. Exactly. He's emphasizing it here. Not he's shooting, but he's continuing to shoot. He emphasizes that everything slows down. Present tense now. Imagine it now. Yeah? You get it? See, nothing to do really with the time. It's all to do with close, remote, and whether you see the thing sort of unfolding in time, or whether you see it as Okay, so what's next? That was the progressive. I would skip that. Now, just very quickly onto the, what's the other aspect?
Perfect.
Perfect. Do I have a perfect? Perfect aspect. Remember, aspect, nothing to do with time. Aspect, what does aspect mean? Literally, aspect. The way you look at something. Exactly. So the way you look at something, whether you see it as whole or in progress. But there's another aspect, and that's the perfect. Let's have a look at good. What's the difference? Same. I mean, the meaning more or less the same. It has a crack. It has a crack. It is cracked. We're talking about now. The first one is really the state. The second one is some quality that it possesses. Some quality it possesses. It has a crack. This cup. Yeah. It is cracked. What about it has cracked? Has. Has is something we have, yeah? We're going to use it with verbs. The cup has the quality of crack. Sometime in the past, it cracked. Now it has the quality. Just like it has a crack or it has cracked. It's really the same. That's why we use the verb to have. We talk about something it has. Yeah, it has, and why does it have it? Because something happened in the past, and it has it now. You get it? Something happened in the past, we dropped it maybe, and it has this quality now. So what tense is it? What tense? What aspect? What tense is it? Present. Yeah. Non-remote. Yeah? We can see it. Yeah? Okay. Similarly, it is broken, and it has broken. Now the result is the same, but now what we're saying is, we know that sometime in the past this happened, and this is the present result. It has this quality of brokenness. And it's still broken. That's why we use the present. She is grown up, and she has grown up. Same thing. The meaning is very, very similar. She is grown up now. She's grown up now. She has grown up. But when she has grown up, we're sort of like, what's the aspect we're looking at? We're looking over behind, over the shoulder to see what started this process of growing up. When did it happen? There's a result now of something that happened in the past. So it has the quality of growing up. I have a new phone. I've got a new phone. It's interchangeable depending again whether we're American, British, or whatever. But that basically means saying that I've got is really a present perfect. It's I have got, isn't it? It's like I have got when we speak American English. Because sometime in the past, this phone that I have now, I acquired. I bought it, I stole it, I borrowed it, or whatever, but I have it now. You know? So that's why we use that. So what we're looking at, the present perfect is really a way of looking at the effect on the present of something that happened in the past. Looking over, that's the aspect, over our shoulder, retrospective sometimes. So she lives in Rome, she has lived in Rome, she has the quality of having lived in Rome, yeah? So maybe we can ask her about her experience. You've lived in Rome, tell us about it, was it nice? You've lived in Rome, you speak any Italian. We can ask her about this experience. She has that quality. But it's a present quality. That's why we call it the present. It's a present tense. She's lived in Rome before, or she's lived in Rome for 5 years now. One of them's finished, one of them's not. It's not important. The fact is that she has the experience. She has the experience. She's like the cup, which is cracked, but she has the experience of having lived in Rome. And of course, we can combine the two aspects. We can combine the two aspects to create what? We can put the two aspects, the perfect and the progressive, together, and we get
Perfect progressive.
we can combine the two together. So what is this? We have two different aspects. On the one hand, we're looking over our shoulder. That's that. Yeah? And then this, we're looking at side. Yes, you absolutely got it. So we're opening up. Now, it can be the same time. She has lived in Rome for 5 years. She's been living in Rome for 5 years. So what's the difference? There's no difference in time. It's because we're opening up the living. We're seeing it somehow as unraveling, unrolling in progress. exactly. Got it. Got it. I tell you, these people in the front rows. Okay, so, wow. So we now have the whole system. We have the whole system in place. We'll just skip. Yeah, this is from a grammar, which is quite nice because it shows it as little eyes. Again, so looking over your shoulder, just at the past only, or the past and the present together and how they connect. So this is the system that we have a choice of two tenses. Used to be called past and present, but we technically call them non-remote and remote. And we have a choice for each tense of two aspects. The same two aspects, progressive and perfect. And this is more to do with time. This is to do how we see it, whether we see it as in progress or whether we see it over the shoulder. That is the history and the theory of everything you need to know about the verb system in English in just over half an hour. And then we can put it together into this nice little diagram to show that this combination with or without aspect. It's a very, very simple system. Very, very simple system. And the point of it is there are no exceptions. There are no exceptions. He walks to work every day. You see it as a whole every day. He walks to work. This guy, one day he walks to work. We see it whole in the past. This guy, tomorrow he walks to work because it's on his itinerary. We see it whole, but in the future, etc. Or he's walking to work now. He's walking to work yesterday. He's walking to work tomorrow. It's all possible. It's all possible. But we're just opening up from one case to another. So that's the way. That's why there are no exceptions. And also, it's the other point to make about it. It is componential. Each bit adds up a separate bit of meaning. So we get she had been watching. She had remote been watching in progress. Yeah, but it all is just adding new bits of meaning, the same bits of meaning. Very simple system. Very simple system. You can teach it in half an hour. Okay. Oh, you've got time for the passive verbs here. Very, very quickly then. This is another thing. We can add now the notion of voice. So we've got tense, aspect. We're adding a third component, which is voice. Yeah, active, passive. So the system gets a bit more complicated. I want to look very briefly at not all of the passive, but just one rule about the passive. You have to read this rule. It's a little bit long, but this comes from a book. And I just want you to read the rule very slowly and carefully and see if you agree. So you see what the writer is saying. So with active sentences, and here's the example. Millions of people read the magazine. The focus is on the people. Millions of people, yeah? Whereas if you say the magazine is read by millions of people, you're putting the focus on the magazine, yeah? Now, what do you think I'm going to say about this rule? You can read my mind. This rule is so wrong that it is 100% wrong. It's 100% wrong. It's totally the opposite. I'm going to show you why. And the reason why the rule is wrong is I've chosen sentences out of context. You put those sentences in context, and the rule is 100% wrong. I'll show you. Let's put those sentences in context. Let's say the magazine is read by millions of people. So, typically this would come after some mention of a magazine. For example, the National Geographic is an American institution. The magazine is read by millions of people. And now in that sentence, the second sentence there, where's the focus? What's the new information? Millions of people. The magazine was already mentioned. The magazine is already mentioned. We know what magazine, the National Geographic. So the focus of the second sentence, that if we think of focus being the important information, if we think of important information as being new information, then the new information is millions of people. Now, why don't we say the National Geographic is an American institution, millions of people read it? I mean, we can say that, but why is it more elegant to say it or the magazine is read by millions of people? There's a rule in many languages in English that you put new information.
New information comes at the end.
How do you know that? Where did you learn it? It's not in the books. No. You just.
So I really know.
Did you read one of my books? You're 100% correct. There's a tendency, in English at least, to put new information at the end of the sentence and to stress it. That's why the stress, the emphasis, tends to be on words at the end of the sentence. We save the new information until the last moment, yeah? The cliffhanger. So, let's have a look at how this works. Here's two texts, and we have this, the beginning and the ending. You have to say which of these 1 and 2 goes with A and B. Yeah, two texts. One begins that top sentence A, and the other one begins B. How do they continue? And why? A with 2. Let's see how that sounds. The two important 9th century inventions were the telegraph and the light bulb. The light bulb was invented by Edison. Probably the next sentence would be the telegraph was invented by blah, 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 blah. Oh, Marconi, yeah? So, let's try that again. Two important 9th century inventions were the telegraph and the light bulb. The light bulb was invented by Edison. Why is number 2 better for A? Okay, gives the new information. So we want the light bulb's already been mentioned, so we put the light bulb at the front of the sentence. Now, if we put the light bulb at the front of the sentence, we have to use grammar so we can put Edison at the end of the sentence. What is the grammar we use to put Edison at the end of the sentence? The passive. We're using the passive so we can put the focus on Edison, not the light bulb. You see why that rule was 100% wrong? Whereas number B, Thomas Edison and Marconi were contemporaries. We'll mention Edison already. We can put it at the beginning of the sentence. Edison invented, the light bulb, new information. But Edison's old information. But we don't need to use a passive here because it's already, the order is fine. You see? It's all about what the new information is and where you want to put it. So, there's our sentences, and there's the rule. Given information first, new information second. Given meaning of. Yeah? So, it's, I mean, that's not all there is to know about the passive, but it's a very important aspect of the passive. And you can see it again working in text. Here is a text from an encyclopedia, and notice that how the information is distributed into the two halves of the sentence. There's a little piece about television. Television means pictures from a distance. So television is already the old information because we know the whole text is about television. Television means new information, pictures from a distance. Television can show us pictures of the other side of the world. That's kind of repeat the first sentence. Two important pieces of television equipment are the camera and the receiver. Ta-da! New information, important. And then the camera, old information, records an image of and so on and so on, goes on and on and on like that. This is good writing. If you want to teach your students how to write good academic writing, teach them the principle of given and new. Teach them what this gentleman knows, which is that the new information goes at the end of the sentence, and whatever you have to do to make it sit at the end of the sentence, you have to do it. Whether it's using the passive, whether it's using spare sentences, whether it's doing that way. That is the fundamental principle of good academic writing. Okay, I think that's it. So, this is your test now. Take out a piece of paper. You have 5 minutes. No, I'm joking. before you speak. How many tenses are there in English? Oi, fantastic. Yes. What are they called? But what we could call them now, in grown-up languages, remote and non-remote. Good. Is there a one-to-one match between time and tense? No, there is not. Why is the present progressive called a progressive? We do this, yeah? It could be this, it could be this, it doesn't matter when, but it's in progress, yeah? And why is the present perfect called the present perfect? Because it's a present tense, yeah? It's a present result of past, yeah? And we use the passage with the focus on the action of the person, true or false. Well, it depends. What the new information versus the old information. Exactly. And that, I never thought we'd get through it. You're so intelligent that we got through it with 2 minutes to spare. So I dare and say, but are there any questions? Yes, at the back.
Can you go over the slide again with the arrows and explain that again, please?
Which are the two?
Yeah.
That one. Okay, so we have confronted by the choice of a verb in a sentence, a finite verb, we have the first choice being one of tense. And we choose the tense because we see somehow what we're describing as being either near, yeah, close or remote, yeah. Having made that decision between walk and walked, then we have a choice of adding or not. We don't have to, but we can add aspect. If we've already chosen the present, we can add the two aspects, either progressive or both. She has been walking. If we choose the past, the same choice. She had been walking. We don't have to, but what we're doing is each time we're adding a little bit of colour. A bit of colour, a bit of aspect. Yeah? So that's it. That's the simple. You can add voice, mood, blah, 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 but that's the simple. Yes? Okay.
So the 4 arrows are that's the voice.
So I haven't added voice here.
So what is the 4 arrows?
This is, let's say this is present, that's past, that's progressive, that's perfect, that's progressive, that's perfect. Okay? Yes, in the green. In the green. The future. The future is next year. Inshallah. If I invite me back, I'll tell you all about the future. Go to my blog. Yeah, my blog. I don't have the address on it. You can Google Scott Thornbury. There's only 2 Scott Thornburys in the world. There's me and there's another one who's about 19. He lives in Nebraska. That's not me. He plays basketball. That's not me. Google me. Google my blog. And then in the index, there is A for aspect. Yeah? It's the A to Z of ELT at the name of my blog. Look at A for aspect, and you'll see 2 little videos, and then what F for futures, and there's a little video. 5 minutes only of your time, and I explain everything. Everything, yeah? Or, if you like to wait, I'll come back next year and I'll explain. A to Z of
Can I just
ELT,
say-
and there's
Macmillan.
Barbara showing the book
Yeah.
on which the blog is based, which is called the A to Z of ELT. Barbara, just shout out.
This is at Macmillan. We are giving these away. You can fill out your tombola and write "I love Scott Thornbury" because I'm his biggest fan. If you have to write "I love Scott Thornbury" if you want a Scott Thornbury book autographed by the author. We have 3 titles. These are fantastic. I use them for my master's research papers. Thank you very much, Scott. I highly recommend them. So come to the booth, fill these out, or post a picture of Scott on our Facebook page, Macmillan Egypt Facebook. Look for us and win a book. We have more. We have these for sale as well, but you can win some.
Thank
Okay?
you, Barbara. Okay, it's been very hot in here. There's another cleaner in. Thank you so much for your attention. Fantastic.